Hello and welcome back to this week's episode of the WLHOUSE News Show. On today's episode, my prediction for who is going to be the next athlete to snatch 220 kilos, and I think it's going to happen in the next few years. We also have huge lifts and world records from the Islamic Games, the biggest lifts from the week in training, Samoa goes heavy in competition, and of course my top 3 best lifts from the week, which you can then all vote on at the end of the episode in the comments below. Let's get started. Okay, so the guy who I think is going to snatch 220 kilos is interesting because I didn't think this was going to happen for a long time, maybe ever. Although seeing people like Gor Minasyan snatch 217 kilos, you start to believe, okay, maybe it's possible. I mean, 217 to 220, it's barely over 1% increase, but 1% is tough. Until I saw Ali Rubaiawi, the Iraqi young super heavyweight, compete at the Islamic Games just last week. So we've been filming Ali Rubaiawi for years. He's done some pretty impressive things. In Saudi Arabia at the World Championships, he hit the biggest back squat in the training hall for anyone. The year prior I filmed him, he was a 109 at the Asian Championships back in Bahrain, but he's going from strength to strength. He just snatched 212 kilos at the age of 21 in competition. So let's do a little bit of a comparison between him and Lasha. When Lasha first snatched 212 kilos, he was 23 years old. It was at the European Championships in 2016. So Ali Rubaiawi is doing things 2 years younger. Ali went 200, 206, 212. Lasha went 200, 207, 212 in terms of their progressions up to it, which is amazing how sort of similar that was. Ali Rubaiawi, I don't have the exact weight, but he probably weighed about 100. He wouldn't have weighed more than 140. He normally weighs anywhere between 130 and 135. Maybe he was a little bit bigger here. Maybe he was 137. When Lasha did it, he weighed 156.76. So Lasha was 2 years older and 20 kilos heavier. When Lasha was 21, the same age that Ali Rubaiawi was when he just snatched this 212 in competition, he was snatching around 200 kilos. He never actually competed in the year that he was 21 years old, but at 20 he snatched 190, and at 22 he snatched 207. So at 21, probably about 200 kilos. And also when he did that, he weighed 155 kilos. So side by side, at age 21, Ali Rubaiawi is destroying Lasha. You can picture them, Ali, Lasha, both 21, 135 kilos in body weight, 155 kilos in body weight, 200 snatch, 212. He's absolutely unbelievable. And also their clean and jerks are right around the same. I think 247 is Rubaiawi's best. Lasha was doing around 248 when he first snatched 212. But again, Ali's doing it earlier. So my prediction is, as long as he can keep gaining weight and get himself to that kind of 150 body weight, he probably won't be able to get much heavier than that. He's not as tall as Lasha, but if he can get around there, I don't see why 220, that's ridiculous. Why 220 isn't possible for him, and certainly around that 255 in the clean and jerk. I think you don't want to make predictions too early, but he certainly, he's the guy who should be on the podium in LA. It's hard to know who with. You've got Gor, you've got Lalian, you've got Ali Davoudi. I mean, you've even got like Ali Reza Yousefi, who is coming back from injury but hit that 262 last year. He'd have to probably increase his snatch a bit. But I think in terms of rate of progress, I think he's an absolute talent. And if anybody's ever going to fill Lasha's shoes, his massive shoes, it's going to be Ali Rubaiawi. So I'm incredibly excited to see his progress over the next few years. Oh, a quick message. You can join over 20,000 weightlifters who are just like you, who receive our weekly weightlifting newsletter. You get up-to-date information on the biggest lifts, the interesting and strange decisions made by the IWF, kind of like a email version of this, but you get it beforehand every Friday. It's free. You can sign up to get that at the description down below or top comment or wherever it is. And you'll just make sure that you're always the most up-to-date, most knowledgeable weightlifter in your gym. Okay, so the Islamic Games, what are they? Well, they're a multi-sport sort of tournament. I think they have, let me see, over 3,000 athletes, 57 nations. The whole idea of it is to strengthen relationships between Islamic countries. But within that, you end up with an incredible group of weightlifters who compete at an event that is really meaningful for them, so they put a lot of effort into it. So we saw some huge lifts. Let's go through what I think are the most impressive. Worth saying, I think probably Turkey, I mean, they mopped up in the lighter weight categories, as you'd expect because they're so good at the moment. Mohammed Ozbek, the world champion currently at 65, he totaled 310 kilos, 140, 170. Obviously at the World Championships he did 145, 178. But he didn't need to go that heavy. He had a 6 kilo lead in the snatch. To be fair, he did miss lifts. It's not that he didn't try to go heavier, but he couldn't quite maintain that level. And then in the clean and jerk, he actually took a silver to Adkamjon Ergashev from Uzbekistan, who I feel like we haven't seen in a while, who actually hit 170 as well in the clean and jerk, but he did it first. But Ozbek walked away with the actual gold, and then he declined his third attempt. The two sisters, Cancel and Aysel Ozkan from Turkey, twins apparently actually. Are they twins or are they sisters? I think they're twins who I've got written down here. They won the women's 53 and 63 kilo sessions respectively. Cancel hit 88-100 and Aysel did 98-118. Yusuf Genç, the 71 kilo European champ, European record holder, for a brief moment had a world record in the clean and jerk with his 192 at the World Championships. He just competed there and he won, very easily by 10 kilos. He did 146, 190. The 190 looked unbelievable. I think he's definitely capable of stepping up and getting closer towards that 195, try and re-break the world record at some point. But this was his third competition in a month. World Championships, Junior and Under 23 Europeans, and then Islamic Games. So he's got to be pretty tired and needing of some rest, I would have thought. Okay, that's Team Turkey. Let's go on to the other big lifts. I don't know when we're ever going to not mention this guy, Abdo Younes from Egypt. You all remember that obviously he tried the 167 twice at the World Championships. He's the 79, by the way. And he got called for a press out both times, even though we caught the weight and stood up with it. Last week we mentioned the fact that he block snatched 180, which is a joke, a ridiculous lift. This week, or last week at the competition, he snatched 166, which was a world record. He went 157, 163, 166, absolutely nailed it. He's been getting a ton of press for that lift. And then a 196, I think it was. 196 in the clean and jerk. So those two lifts together, that's also a world record total. It would have beaten Rizki Jinasia's, gold medal winning total from the World Championships. But it's not really fair to say that, because if he'd made it, Rizki would have maybe done 205 or 206. Like, he clearly had a little bit more room in the clean and jerk. We also just posted a really, really great video, a little battle video between Rizki and Abdo on our Instagram, which is great. I wonder if we can play it just now, because it's kind of hype. It shows them talking about each other and then the incredible battle that went on. But yeah, don't forget, Abdo 166, amazing. Then an athlete who's become a bit of a favourite around the world, Lawal Rafiatu, the Nigerian 58. Yeah, that's right, 58. A lot of you remember at the World Championships, she went toe-to-toe with the North Korean, was called for, I think, probably the harshest press-out call of the competition, actually, on her 104 or 105 snatch. But she just competed here. She swept golds. She didn't have to go quite as heavy. 98, 120, an easy win for her. Nurgissa Adiletuy, the world champion in the 94s, he competed as well. He did all right. 175 snatch, which is great. I mean, it's a great snatch. It's maybe not quite the world record from Ali Rubaiawi, the 182 that we saw at the world champs, but 175 is a great snatch. 210 clean and jerk. Could he have done more in the clean and jerk? Maybe, but it was all he needed. 385, and he beat Ali Rubaiawi, who ended up lifting 374, which is 17 kilos less than what he made at the World Champs when he went up against Carlos. So he just wasn't in great shape. 171, 203. He's just down. He's down. But Nurgissa took the gold there. Sara Ahmed from Egypt. Egypt's looking good at the moment. Who obviously took silver behind Olivia Reeves at the World Champs. She had the performance that we knew she was capable of, to some degree. At the World Champs, she looked amazing in the training hall. We saw her do 114 or 115. She did a 150 clean and jerk, which is crazy. She made it look way better than Olivia. And then in the competition, she just couldn't She couldn't hang. She couldn't do it. But she competed here in the 77s. She looked great. 115 snatch, 145 clean and jerk, 8 kilos above her, the total that she got at the World Championships. So that was great. And she had a phenomenal battle with Sarah Matthew from Nigeria, who we've been following for a while. She's so strong. We actually spoke to her a while back and we asked her, what's your best front squat? I think we were trying to weigh her up against Olivia to be like, oh, who's got the strongest legs in weightlifting? She's front squatted 190. She's back squatted 220. So she's right around there as well. And she just snatched 116. So she beat Sara Ahmed in the snatch. But in the clean and jerk, she's obviously ridiculously strong, but she technically doesn't quite have it. So she was about, I think, 128. Took the silver though. But the gold in the snatch, 116, absolutely massive. Next, getting heavier gradually, King Djuraev. Something interesting about Akbar competing is that Akbar and Uncle Ruslan Nuruddinov were told just before the World Championships, oh, by the way, you have to compete at the Islamic Games. And Uncle Russ was really frustrated because he made it very clear to the Uzbek Federation, I'm an old man. He's not, he's like 33. I'm an old man. I can't peak for 2 competitions within a month. If I go heavy at the World Championships, I cannot go to the Islamic Games. And eventually he sort of, he got his way and it was like, okay, fine, fair enough. Go to Worlds, do your best, but that's it. Akbar, on the other hand, I think he's a bit younger. Obviously, he's a bit younger. And there was more of a sense of, look, you can just compete. So Akbar did have to come to this competition, even though I think he ideally wasn't going to. And he still won with such ease. He only took 5 lifts. He made all of those 5 lifts. He snatched 193, which is, did he do 96 at Worlds? I think it was, yeah. So just 3 kilos under his best there. He clean and jerked 227, 500 pounds, then declined his third attempt. He could have easily gone heavier in both lifts. He can snatch 200, he can clean and jerk 240, there's no doubt about it. And he walked away with a 220 kilo total, gold medal, beat Dadash Bailey, beat the junior Iranian, whose name slips my mind, who took silver at Worlds. So he's, and with a total that would have won Worlds as well, even though he only took 5 lifts and they were easy. So Akbar it's the era of Akbar for sure in that 110 class. And then the final lift on the women's side, I hope I pronounce this right. I probably won't. It's something like Ouisal Ikhlef. I think she used to compete for Iran, but now she competes for Qatar, and she's really good. She's coached by Miso's brother, who's a phenomenal coach, and they're doing really wonders with her. She snatched 117, which is big, but she clean and jerked 160. And it just feels like the number of people doing that. I mean, we mentioned last week we had June Sapaya, and then there's Ikhlef, Mary Felix, who was at the World Champs, who looked incredible. The 2 South Koreans. There's a couple Chinese lifters now who can do it. We'll talk about that in another episode because they just went head to head. There's Emily Campbell. There's Mary Tyson Lappin. And there's probably more, like maybe Dwanaxon Chaidi or someone. There's probably 10 athletes on the women's side who will clean jerk 160 or more this quad. So I feel like that's just absolutely blossoming, which is really cool. I probably missed someone who I shouldn't have missed, so apologies if I did. But she looked really strong. Gor Minasyan competed against Ali Rubaiawi. Obviously, we've gone through Ali's lifting. He hit an incredible 212 to take the... Actually, no, it was silver in the snatch because Gor hit 213. I thought Gor looked amazing, I thought Gor looked really good in the snatch. Phenomenal lifting. I think he could have easily gone over 215. It's just whether he can improve, much in the future, I don't know. Will he ever get to the 220? He's tried it. Whereas Ali Rubaiawi, I certainly feel like he could. And then in the clean and jerk, Gor hit 247. 247. Gold. Looked great. Despite I think he missed his opener. So Gor walked away with the gold. So I know maybe it feels like, oh, why are you talking so much about Ali Rubaiawi? Because Gor won. He did win. But just watch this kid. 21. He's easily the youngest person ever to snatch 210. There's no doubt. In competition. It must be. Certainly the youngest to snatch 212. He's just a talent. We've never seen a super heavyweight snatch like this at that age, so it's crazy. Okay, moving on to the biggest training lifts, and we've got some big ones today. Oh, but before we do that, a quick reminder, the Weightlifting House Black Friday sale is live. You can get up to 40% off, and I have been told to tell you, because quite a lot of our best-selling products, our most popular, are going to be sold out because of the crazy volume of orders that we're having at the moment before the end of Black Friday, and they won't be restocked within the Black Friday period. We will get them back in afterwards, but at this discount we won't. So what are they? The unbelievable leggings in black. We'll have blue, but the black, they're our most popular. Sophia t-shirt in black, that's our most popular t-shirt. Carlos Nassar shorts. I'm wearing a Carlos tee actually at the moment, which I absolutely love the fit of. Classic training pants, technical tees, and Dream Team shorts. So I know those are like 6 of our most popular products. I promise you, we thought that we heavily stocked up for this, but the response from everybody has been amazing. All these products, all these clothes and equipment, it's all chosen by champions, and you can get it now at weightliftinghouse.com. Link is down below. That's up to 40%. Get it quick before it sells out. Last week I asked you guys how you want me to do this. We're going to take a trip around the globe. Are we going to go up in terms of body weight? I'm going to go up in terms of body weight this time, and we'll see what people think. Or we can randomize, I don't mind, but we can go through these lifts in any kind of order that you fancy. We're going to start off with Hamp the Champ Morris. Team USA 65 kilo weightlifter, holds the world record in the clean and jerk at 181. He just jerked 190. I've not got a whole lot more to say about that. I mean, it's just big, isn't it? He's competing at, what would it be? AO Finals, I think it is, in December, I suppose. What's he going to compete at? Probably as a light 71, maybe, walking around at 68 or something. But it'd be exciting to see him go over that 181 world record that he hit at the Pan Am Champs. Then we have, again, I'm sorry, but you can't not include him, is Abdo Younes. Are we doing too much Abdo? He hit an unofficial world record again, so you've got to mention it. 167 in training. So he did the 180 block snatch, and then he did the 166 world record official. Now he's just done 167 to equal what Churkin did in training, and he does make it look better. In fact, can we go side by side? Abdo Churkin, please, and just have a look. I think he makes it better. Churkin's amazing, but like he's not, like, if one of them's going to snatch 175, who's it going to be? It's going to be Abdo. Plus, Abdo's going up to the 85 kilo class when that category comes in a year's time, or 9 months' time, so that'll be fun. Julio Mayora, we haven't heard him in a while. Julio Mayora, who won the Pan Am Champs, he beat Caden Kahoy, do not forget that. They need a battle, they need to refight that one out. He just did a 190 clean and jerk, looks very smooth, very easy. He's a 79. Should I just jump to Keydomar? I'll jump to Keydomar, then I know I'm not doing the bodyweight thing if I'm jumping to Keydomar, but we need to. His teammate Keydomar. Do you remember last week I mentioned that he snatched 180 off blocks, and I was like, oh, it's amazing, but Abdo did 180 off blocks and he's a weight class below. Was he listening? I don't know, but he just did 186. I mean, 186 at, I presume he's competing at 88. I mean, even if he's not, like, let's say he's going at 94. The current world record's 182. Carlos did 189 at the European champs at like 93.5 body weight. So I'm not, obviously it's not in that level, and people are better off blocks, but like 186 from Keydomar. Oh my goodness, it's just huge. I'm hoping he can start putting up something in the high 70s from the floor. And then when the time comes and he decides, okay, I am going to get in my Olympic category, what's he going to do? I mean, he probably could cut down to 85. And then he'll be going up against like Abdo, that's crazy, and Jason Lopez and Robu. But maybe one or two of them are actually going to say, no, I'm going to go 95 and just duke it out with Carlos, accept that I'm not going to win. But like, who else? I've got some Iranians, German. You know, they were great 95s, but maybe 85 will be too competitive. Maybe Liu Hanhua, more on that to come in the next episode. Okay, let's move back on. Sophie Shaft from Team USA 63. She just did a 137 hip clean, 137 kilos. That's 300 pounds, which is a 5 kilo PR. So at the world champ, she made 126 kilos in the clean and jerk. The silver medal clean and jerk was 132. That was Maud Charon. And then gold, just don't even worry about it. It's Resuck. She's just, you know, it was 142. She's done 149. So ignore her. Like behind Reese Sook, who's just ridiculous. 137 is massive at that kind of body weight. And then she also did a hang snatch at 105. So very strong lifting from Sophie Shaft. Then we have Janetta Lasoini from Finland, who we mentioned last week because of her performance at the under-23s. But she just did a 121 power clean and jerk. Felt like it was worth a mention. And then the final lift before we get to the Samoans who just went crazy is Young-hee, 2021 world champion, supers, South Korean. She posted a 170 clean and jerk. So what's interesting about this is it was dated from March 2024, an unreleased lift. So that was just before the last chance qualifier, the final event before the Olympic Games, before like the final qualifier for the Olympics. And she would have been going up against Park Hye-jeong, her younger teammate. And that was probably her peak. She has done 169 in competition, but that 170 might be like her best ever. It might be that one where it's like, okay, I'm coming to the end of my career. I'm never going to beat Park. I'm going to post my best ever clean and jerk as like, here's a weight I once did. I'm never going to beat it. Or she just was sat there bored and she scrolled through her phone and saw it and thought, I'll post it. I don't know. Maybe we're reading into it too much, but often when weightlifters start posting their best ever training lifts from years ago, maybe it means something. I don't know. Okay, finally, Samoa Takeover. So there are a few really big lifts from... So it was actually the Australian national champs, and then Team Samoa came over as guest athletes. And there was great lifting at the Australian champs as well. So I feel almost like I shouldn't be skimming over those performances. But there were just two lifters from Samoa that really stood out. So the first one is Seine Stowers. She's a 77 kilo youth lifter, and she set unofficial, or were they official? I'm not sure if you compete as a guest, whether these, actually, no, national, so no, it wouldn't be official. So unofficial youth world records, 107 snatch, she's 17. 107 snatch and unofficial youth world record clean and jerk in total, 137 clean and jerk. I mean, think about that. I mean, take someone like Matty Rogers, who's like one of the best 77s in the world, and a good day would be like 111, 140. Be like, okay, she lifted pretty well at Worlds. 107, 137 at 17. She's unbelievable. So excited to see how she does over the coming years. And then, and again, I'm sorry if I'm getting these pronunciations right. I don't know if the E at the end of a first name and a Samoan name is pronounced or not. So it's either Sanele or Sanele. Sanele Mao. He broke his own Commonwealth snatch record. Some of you remember him. He's honestly, he's a beast. He's massive. He did it might have been like a 160. Is that too ridiculous to say? It could have been like a 160. It was like a muscle snatch. There was a little bit of a rebend in the knee. It was a total it was muscle by nature. He was turning over and pressing that out. But he might have gone slightly under at the knees and then stood up. So it's not a strict muscle snatch, but ridiculously strong guy. He just snatched 182. And actually, I felt like he looked better as well. Like he's moving quick. He's getting low. He's fast. So yeah, I thought that was just a great lift and really worth mentioning. Okay, top three lifts from the week. We've got to go Ali Rubaiawi, 212 snatch, age 21. And you know what? I'd had written down Abdo. Oh, it's a world record though. Ali Rubaiawi, 212 snatch. I want to put Seine Stowers on there because I think she smashed it. It's a toughie, I also kind of want to put Sarah Matthews' 116 snatch on there. No, you know what? We'll go Ali Rubaiawi, Seine Stowers for her unofficial youth world records. And then the third lift, I'm going to say Keydomar's 186 block snatch. You choose which the most impressive is. Don't miss out on the Weightlifting House Black Friday. Get up to 40% off everything. Go quick before things sell out. And I appreciate you tuning in. Catch you all on the next week's episode of the Weightlifting House News Show.